SmithtownStation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. And speaking of the greatest Santa Clarita has to offer, once again, it's that time of the month where our dear friend Jaimie Ronchetto stops by from Cinema Vet to talk all things pets.
You know her.
You love her.
You love her. You know what we're going to talk to Dr. Jaimie about today?
I wish we would have prepped before, but now I'm excited to hear about it.
Snakes.
Really? Okay. Yeah. No, let's talk about snakes. They're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Jaimie.
Hi, good morning.
Let's talk snakes. They're first of all, what I wanted to ask you for the longest of times. A lot of people, not me, no, have snakes for pets, and I don't get pet rats. I don't get pet snakes. I don't understand that at all. Mm-hmm. But I know some people do. Mm-hmm. Do you? If they have a problem, if they think their snake, something is going on, do they bring snakes to you?
Absolutely. I don't see reptiles, but my associate, Dr. Amber Wheelbarger, sees all sorts of critters, so snakes included. Absolutely. And they're really fascinating creatures, actually. I think they're really cool.
I'm so glad. My face right now is so scrunched up. What is the, tell me, I don't understand how that can be a pet. Like, I look at my dog and I cuddle and we play and they run around. Like, what is the attraction to having something like a pet snake? I don't get it. Help me, Dr. Jaimie.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. I myself has never had a pet snake, but I can see the attraction. I mean, they're really interesting, different creatures. You know, there's different types of snakes that are, they can be, some can be quite social, I think. And you're not typically going to like snuggle them like you would a dog, certainly. But, you can still interact with them. And it's just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Jaimie. All right. We're gonna move on. I can't do it. I can't. I can't, and I applaud those who just get a kick out of having a pet snake. But snakes, because the weather is getting warmer, my concern, and I'm sure a lot of pet owners' concern, is rattlers and other snakes that are out and about now, because I guess they're looking for water when it gets warmer. I'm not quite sure, but they're out and about more often during the warm weather, and we need to be careful. So tell us what we can do to make sure our pets are safe.
Right. So, snakes are typically going to be, warmth seeking, because they can't regulate their own body temperature like we do. So they move into different areas depending on what their body needs. So a lot of times we do see them more in the warmer months, out kind of sunbathing and things like that.
Oh, so they're not necessarily looking for water or anything. They're looking for warmth.
They certainly can look for water too. But they'll be out for different reasons. Certainly rattlers are our biggest concern out here. We have other types of snakes that are non-venomous, but sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. They do have some rattlesnake avoidance classes that you can take your dog to, which may be beneficial, especially if you have a very curious, sort of goofy dog that doesn't really know danger at all.
But aren't most dogs by nature curious? I mean, my dog is a little teeny dog and she is fearless. Like, I mean, she barks at the biggest of dogs,
right,
walking by. And for the most part, aren't dogs usually a little bit curious?
Yeah, they can be curious. Some, it depends on their personality. Some are curious but still have a sense about them, of having a healthy fear of things that they don't know. Other dogs will just stick their head right in bushes and, what's that rattling noise? And yeah. So that's when those classes may become beneficial.
Mm-hmm. So they actually, in these classes, they teach the dog to be careful.
Yes.
Wow. That is super. In this neck of the woods, that is really important. Maybe we should consider something like that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And then certainly the rattlesnake vaccine is a good idea. So again...
Wait. Didn't know there was such a thing. Wait a second.
Yeah, so it's a vaccine that helps it doesn't take the place of needed veterinary care should your dog get bit by a rattlesnake. But having it on board does help buy you time. So it kind of slows the progression of clinical signs so you can get the help that you need at an emergency facility. And also hopefully will help limit the sign seen. So it gives you more time and then hopefully will allow your pet to recover a bit better because certainly, they can die from a rattlesnake bite.
What happens? Let's walk this scenario out. Let's say your dog's outside. It's fenced in. It's all safe. But a snake comes into your backyard. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Hours later, will you hear the dog, whine, or when it bites the dog? Is it painful? Does the dog just naturally kind of like pass out? What exactly? Walk me through those steps.
So I've seen many different scenarios. It all kind of depends on the size of the snake because baby snakes don't control the amount of venom they release when they bite. So usually baby snakes' bites are worse. So it depends on the size of the snake and it depends on where they're bit. So a lot of times if they're going into a bush, they're going to get bit on the face or the neck. And that can be very dangerous because they will typically have an allergic reaction, like almost like you would see with a bee sting, but more significant. So they will swell up, they'll get hives, it can close off their airway, and obviously then that becomes an emergency situation. The bites themselves, so I've seen full-on bites where they did get venom in them, and then I've seen ones that are called a dry bite where the snake didn't actually really release any venom. It just is a bite in and of itself, and obviously that's a better case scenario. You're still dealing with a snake bite, so you'll see two little puncture holes where they got bit, but then it's more wound care rather than fighting off.
How can you tell the difference? Like if I were to carry in my dog and I knew and I saw that they got bitten, how do you tell right away?
Sometimes you can't tell right away because, signs can progress. But as they're being treated at the emergency facility, if their signs are not progressing like we typically would see, having cardiovascular effects and all of that, then sometimes we can assume that it was more of a dry bite if they're not having that severe of a reaction.
How long does it take to see those symptoms? Is it just right away, or?
I mean, you'll see the bite right away. You'll see the two puncture marks right away, and usually it'll start to swell pretty quickly. So if you're at all concerned that it may be a snake bite, it's best to get them in right away so we can start treatment. Smaller dogs certainly may react faster because it's going to circulate faster in their system. So in really severe cases, they could potentially die before you even get them seen. And then, larger dogs, like I said, usually it's on their face. Smaller dogs, sometimes it's more on their torso because they're lower to the ground.
So if you have a smaller dog, Dr. Jaimie, do you suggest both the vaccination and, making sure they're in a safe place, always watching, because it's so much more dangerous for those little dogs.
I mean, I would recommend, if you're in an area where snakes could possibly get into your yard, try to snake-proof your boundaries as best as you can. Putting up some kind of fencing that they can't get through, put it into the ground a little bit so they're less likely to burrow under it. And then certainly when they're out and about, I've seen snakes on the paseos. I've seen them up, in the summit area because they're certainly very close to wildlands back there. So always keep your dog on a leash. Don't let them just go running through the hills. That's where they're going to get in trouble.
Right.
Mostly.
So if you take your dog, especially little dogs, on a hike, be careful. Maybe consider the vaccination. Keep them on a leash.
Absolutely.
Let's keep the doggies safe. Dr. Jaimie, thank you so much. Always learn something with you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Always learn something.
Pleasure.
Please be careful with the snakes out and about. And for those snake owners as pets, more power to you. Great seeing you, Dr. Jaimie.
Thank you.
All right, let's check traffic as we do every 10 minutes right here on your hometown station. We are currently incident-free right now. Southbound side of the 14, heavy at Via Princesa in toward Plaza Rita. You're going to be heavy on the 5 now for some reason. There are no crashes, but the southbound side now is heavy from the 14 into the 210. Sierra Highway southbound side into Golden Valley. Very heavy as you make your way south of Via Princesa and to Golden Valley. Don't take Golden Valley. It's a mess right now. That's traffic on your hometown station, KHTS. By the way, if you want to get in touch with Dr. Jaimie, if you might have a situation with a snake bite or anything, maybe you just have a brand new pup and you want some help from Dr. Jaimie, what's the best way to reach you? At Cinema Vet, which, by the way, is located on Cinema Drive, hence the name. Great. So what, where, how should they get in touch with you?
Our phone number is 661-253-9300.
And always available on the website. You can see pictures. You can see Dr. Jaimie on there, too, with some dogs. Are those your dogs, by the way, on the website?
Yes.
They're adorable.
Thank you.
Golden?
Yeah.
Retrievers?
Uh-huh.